Should it be legal to lie about being a heroic guy? That's the question the Supreme Court has now agreed to answer. Good for them. They're finally doing some work. Saying Monday that it will decide whether the Stolen Valor Act is constitutional. The 2006 law, which makes it illegal to lie about having received military medals, was struck down by the Federal Appeals Court of California after it was challenged by a man who had claimed he received the Medal of Honor. Javier Alvarez, seen here with a tremendous mustache, was indicted after he made the false claim at a public meeting. But the appeals court later ruled there was no evidence that lying about medals harmed anybody and no compelling reason to make a crime out of it, with one judge noting that people often tell lies about themselves and that it would be, quote, terrifying if they could be prosecuted for it. Well, you know who deserves a medal? My cousins from the old country, Zoran and Zed.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Is that how you write the script?
I miss those guys. Coming to see you in a month. Hey, Kimberly, it feels like this should be a crime to falsely claim you've gotten medals that some people have died for. I mean, it's a lie, but what was that sound? But it feels like a crime. But should it be a crime?
Look, for me personally, I think it's pretty reprehensible that you sit there and say that you're a war hero and you try and get money to people to try and get funds for it. That's stealing, basically. You're misrepresenting. Yeah. And to me, something's got to be off limits. You know, why is it okay to do that? Is this guy going to claim Halloween's showing up every day in his calendar by mistake and he's dressing up? Come on. Jerry,
that's a good point. In a way, it is theft because they're stealing. He's stealing the bravery of somebody else. It's not a thing you can see or feel.
But if you're doing it to raise money, then you are stealing, and you can be prosecuted for that. Look, I mean, people lie about stuff all the time.
Yeah,
Congress lies about interns. I mean, there's a long list.
Yeah.
I think, like, how are you going to police this thing?
Yeah.
How does that work? It just seems like another crime that we don't have the police to prosecute.
I mean, if the guy's clearly lying about a medal, you can make a law that forbids it.
Don't people just go beat him up later? I mean,
that's actually a good point.
Yeah, but doesn't it beg the question, like, where does it go next after that? Look, this is. Are
you referring to the slippery slope?
Well, look, at the end of the day.
Yeah, you know what? I got to tell you, Bill and you got to come to our water theme park, Slippery Slope. It's fantastic.
We now officially have a Stolen Valor ride.
Yeah. That's the third ride. Stolen Valor ride.
Excellent.
And then people will be able to drive around in a giant replica of Paul's lips.
That'll be the inflatable tube.
But you often lie. Paul, you often lie.
Why do I come, really?
So I can ask you important questions like you lie and tell people you're a successful comedian. Should you go to jail for that?
Just go, get off me. Go to somebody else. Get off me. I'm not even going to. I'm not playing anymore.
No, I mean, I'm interested in your opinion. I'm giving you a hard time. I'm kidding.
Listen, I think, look, this is the worst thing. Who's going to even pay attention to me now?
I'm paying attention.
Go get a salami sandwich and come back in 30 seconds. Someone else.
Now you like King.
How do you feel about it, Greg?
I think it's wrong, but at the same time, I'm kind of with Jerry that, like, maybe this is something that's settled outside in a parking lot. No, I don't mean violence. I mean a strong talking to.
Replace a questionable crime with a beating. Okay.
Bill, I got to give Bill the last word. Your entire life is a lie. So you must be hoping that the court says this law is
Yes, and I enjoy walking around a free man. I think this is kind of ridiculous. It's being politicized. Although I will say this, they got to come up with a better phrase than stolen valor. Stolen valor sounds like an old Southern phrase for losing your virginity. Like, I was due to declare that last night the general came by, we were on the veranda, and at some point or another, he stole my valor. All right. That's what it sounds like. After a couple of sarsaparillas, one thing led to another. My hoop skirt came up.
I think this is damaging. I think it is damaging to soldiers. So I think it's a different kind of a law.
Here's what you do. You want to punish these guys, whoever does this, make them enlist in the Army for 2 years.
That's pretty funny. Oh, no, you know what? You're absolutely right. Make them go work at a veterans hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, that means you have to make
it... Yeah, but they're making them do that already. That's not enough.
You have to make it a crime to do that.
Yeah, in order to make anybody do something.
Has to be statutory.
Yeah, you got to do
it's better that than him going to a jail cell and having his own valor stolen.
Yeah.
Although I do like that Congress is passing laws about lying. Talk about the pot calling the pot a pot.
There you go. So do you have a comment on the show? Email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com. And to leave a voicemail on my direct line, call 212-462-5050. Still to come, the halftime report from TV's Andy Levy. He's back. I hate him already.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by crochet art. Those aesthetic objects created via a form of needlework normally used to make clothes from thick, stiff thread by looping the thread through itself with a needle hook. Thanks, crochet art.